Let's talk about Smackdown from November the 17th, 2023. Not much to talk about in the realm of news and notes, if we're being honest. But I'm pretty sure something will pop up eventually, and we'll talk about that. But, so, I guess we just got to get into the show. I know a lot of people are very, very, very disappointed in seeing who the secret partner of Charlotte, Shotzi, and Bianca was. But, well, gotta play with the toys you got. Anyway, Damage Control starts the show, but before we get into that, Road Dogg was on commentary. And let me tell you this. I'm not thrilled about Road Dogg being on commentary. Not a big fan. But he's a lot better than that Irish guy. I don't understand how it's been like a year and that guy is still on commentary. The fact that he is still on commentary shows us, that fact alone, by the way, shows us that Triple H is not the man for the job. Anybody with a decent ear would have gotten rid of that Kevin Patrick guy a long time ago. Is he as bad as Mike Adamle? No. Is he as bad as who was that guy they had on Raw for a while? The guy who said Roman Reigns can't fight. No. He's not as bad as that guy either. But he's still pretty bad, and he should have been gone by now. My goodness, it's terrible. Anyway, moving on. Damage Control comes to the ring. Bayley said this was her plan to bring Asuka into Damage Control. It's the strongest faction in WWE now. Io, Kairi, and Asuka start speaking Japanese and laughing to each other. Bayley gets a little bit suspicious. Dakota Kai is there to translate and say that they were laughing because somebody in this ring is not a member of Damage Control yet. And she looks around and she's like, Asuka isn't a member of Damage Control. We haven't asked her yet. So Bayley pulls out a Damage Control t-shirt, gets down on one knee to ask Asuka to join Damage Control, which Asuka thinks about it for a second. Bayley promises to put her on the t-shirt, so Asuka takes the Damage Control t-shirt. She is now officially a member of Damage Control. Then Dakota Kai laid out the challenge for WarGames. This brought out Shotzi, who tried to attack them by herself, but she's not smart, so she screwed it up. Then Bianca and Charlotte ran down there to save her. So, okay, so we're setting it up that WarGames is going to be 4-on-4. There's not going to be 5 people. So, at least that's what it looks like right now, because they had to really dig deep into the bag to get the 4th person on this team. Bianca is backstage, and she's telling Shotzi we have to be more strategic. And Shotzi's all, I can't help myself. I want to rip them to shreds. I want to kick their butts. I'm like, why can't we use the word ass? I mean, I know we're on Fox, but come on. You know, Shotzi is very cringe. Bianca says, well, I know you know somebody, Charlotte. Make a phone call. And then Charlotte was like, she starts to grumble. Nick Aldis comes in. He says he wants the answer tonight. No dilly-dallying. It has to be tonight. So Bianca says, well, Charlotte, you make the phone call, but just in case, I'm going to go recruiting. So she goes fishing, walks around. She talks to Mia Yim. Damage Control kicks the ass of Mia Yim. She talks to Zelina Vega. Damage Control beats up Zelina Vega. So then we get to the last segment. Charlotte has made the phone call, but she's not sure that the person she called is going to be able to get to Evansville, Indiana in time. Yeah, Evansville, Indiana. Right smack dab in the middle of no damn where. But they got there pretty quickly, by the way. So they go into the ring. Charlotte, Shotzi, and Bianca after the main event. They accept the challenge. And then Damage Control shows up and said they were bluffing. Well, Bayley said they were bluffing. They don't have a 4th member. And they're not going to make it to WarGames. So they get into the ring to beat them up. And here comes Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is the 4th person. Okay, now look, it only makes sense from the perspective that Damage Control was kind of formed while dealing with Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was one of their OG rivals. So I'm guessing it kind of makes sense from that perspective. But other than that, I don't see how this makes sense. She was on Raw. Apparently, there's not a barrier between Raw and SmackDown anymore. So, like, you can just be on SmackDown if you're from Raw, which flies in the face of what Nick Aldis was talking about a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago, Nick Aldis was suspending and fining guys from coming from Raw to SmackDown. And now, all of a sudden, Becky Lynch can be there, Cody can be there, you can just be on SmackDown. Like, what the hell is going on here? What's the issue? What's going on? And then Bianca only talked to 2 people. Like, there's other women backstage. I'm sure there are. You could have called up somebody from NXT, anything. But then again, it was Evansville, Indiana. I'm pretty sure the only person who knew where it was Becky Lynch. Not thrilled about the babyface side of this match. Shotzi is a bit weak, but we're gonna ride with it. She was feuding with Bayley, so it has to make sense for her to be in it. And I can't complain. Now, of course, they're doing the little tease that Bayley is, she's the outsider. Everybody is friends except her. Somehow Dakota Kai understands Japanese. She is being led to believe that it was her idea, or she's lying, that it was her idea to bring Asuka in. But it's clearly that they're up to no good. I'm thinking they're going to pull a thing where Damage Control kicks Bayley out probably during WarGames. I can see that being the case. Is that Bayley get kicked out probably immediately after WarGames. So either at the show itself or at the SmackDown after WarGames, she's going to get kicked out. I can see them losing and then Bayley, having to take the blame for it. Let's talk about some other stuff real quick. Apparently Becky Lynch was on Jeopardy and she flamed out phenomenally. She scored a grand total of 0 points, despite the fact that she was on the show. Look, I didn't watch it, so I don't know if she tanked it on purpose or not, or if she's just goddamn flat. But you'd have to have the IQ of a crash test dummy to screw that up. To get 0 points, to get nothing right, when I'm pretty sure they prime you before you go out there. Now, these game shows, they never just like bring stuff, because they're random quizzes and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure you get some kind of prep kit before the show, so you'll know what the possible answers could be, and it's going to be up to you to remember it and then to hit the buzzer first and form the question right and all that kind of stuff. But I'm pretty sure they give you the answers first, or they give you some time to study. So I would imagine she probably tanked that thing on purpose. But I heard it got pretty big ratings, for a segment. But I don't know. Her having 0 points, she's a flat scan. So am I surprised at this? She married Seth Rollins? No. Also, if you guys saw that video of Asuka being surrounded by a bunch of damn weirdos at the airport, and she actually stopped and was signing autographs for this huge mob of people who just stopped her in the airport. New Japan recently, I think it was, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week or 2 ago, they put out a statement asking fans not to approach the wrestlers outside of venues and hotels and at airports and gyms, etc. Please do not approach the talent. WWE probably needs to do a similar thing and say that you should not be approaching talent. You should. I don't know if this is going to be a smart thing to do. I don't know how expensive it would be. Might want to get them security too, a security detail, because some fans don't take rejection well. And if they're following the wrestler's schedule, because they were out there with like posters, and it wasn't like I just happened to run into Asuka. It looked like they were camped there. All right. They probably need somebody to get her out of there. I mean, she's being nice and signing everything, but at the same time, it's it puts her in a really terrible situation, and it also screws the people who actually pay to see her. And not, I don't mean like the fans who go to the show. I mean the people who pay for meet and greets. You know, those are the people who are getting screwed in this situation, because these people are getting free autographs. They can't pay, so they're getting free autographs by camping out at the airport waiting for wrestlers. That has to stop. That's got to stop. It's a dangerous situation. You don't want some... I mean, wrestling is not going to stop until they have its own Gianni Versace or John Lennon situation where one of these crazy fans kills one of the fucking wrestlers. Didn't they have Sonya Deville had her house broken into? Random indie wrestlers is having like weirdos send stuff to their houses, and like, you don't want these people just knowing where the wrestlers are and having easy access to them, and then a wrestler has to tell them, no, we don't know how those people are going to react. You probably need to have, like, I know you can't, because the company does not provide the transportation, they don't know when the talent is coming and going, but I'm pretty sure they could have some kind of security detail, I would imagine, there. And they kind of need it, because a lot of these people are nuts, all right? If you're camped out waiting for Oscar, you're a fucking nut, all right? And like I said, man, wrestling is not going to stop until these very niche weirdos screw around and somebody's going to kill one of these wrestlers. And that's going to be really, really sad, because we've seen like that weird dude who was obsessed with Lita kept showing up at the Performance Center. And this kind of stalkerish behavior, we've been seeing a lot of it lately. A lot of it. And some of it seems kind of harmless, because, you know, these guys are just super fans and they're big and soft and weird. And they're socially awkward. But they're exactly the kind of guy where if you turn him down or you say no, he loses control, and who knows what might happen. You know? So we need to do something, because that's no joke. That's a security issue, you know? And also, it's a financial issue. Anyway, so Becky Lynch is the opponent for Damage Control. This thing feels thrown together, but okay. You know, Damage Control versus Bianca's team, or is it Charlotte's team? I don't know. The idea of Charlotte and Becky being partners, even though they legit hate each other, that just feels like something Triple H put into his own brain. That can they coexist? Can they coexist? How about WarGames? Can they coexist? Now we've got Can They Coexist WarGames edition. Oh, blow my nose. So I see that Ruffles is going to have a vote about who's going to have the team advantage at Survivor Series. So Ruffles, who apparently is a sponsor of this match, is going to decide who gets the team advantage. And they decided that it's going to be a vote, a fan vote. Listen, man, I looked at this and I said, this is stupid. It's just plain stupid. You know, WWE just is not, they have no intention of doing WarGames correctly. This is going to give the babyfaces the advantage, right? Because you want to see the babyfaces win. So clearly, people are going to vote for the babyfaces. But that's not even the dumb part. That's dumb. That's dumb as shit, because it relates to the match. But the thing that really blew my wig is in the comment section of the Twitter, how people are saying that Ruffles are mid. Look, man. Hold on. I get you might not like WWE sponsorships ideas. They ain't smart. They not high-level, big-brained ideas. But you're not about to sit here and slander no Ruffles, dog. Ruffles, top 5 chip. All right? Top 5 chip. Not too salty. Crunch quality is through the damn roof. I ain't mad at Ruffles. All right? Now, Ruffles, good chip. Top 5 chip. I'm a ride or die with the Ruffles. I like, especially the plain Ruffles. Very few chips are really good, and it's just like the plain versions. Sometimes you want to throw some barbecue sauce on them or something like that. But Ruffles, really good plain. And you want to know what else? My mom used to hook me up with this idea, the salty and the sweet. I didn't know nothing about this. So I remember seeing her do it one time where she went and got a big bag of Lay's. And she sat down with a small pint of ice cream, some regular vanilla ice cream. And you know, vanilla ice cream, people be looking at that like, what you doing here with vanilla ice cream? But once you dip the Lay's in vanilla ice cream, bruh, next level. The salty and the sweet, man, it takes it to the next level. So I remember doing it with Ruffles once. Bruh, next level. Now, Ruffles are a little bit thicker than Lay's, but sheesh, them joints cracking, all right? I think I probably gained 30 pounds off that alone. Just Ruffles and vanilla ice cream. We're not about to sit here and slander Ruffles. This has got to be a WWE idea, and they just sold it to Ruffles. Okay, I'm throwing Ruffles some bail. I love WWE. I've been a wrestling fan since 1990. I'm going to throw WWE under the bus on this situation and say this is 100% them. And that Ruffles is just kind of like, we just want to be in on the party. You know, we'll throw you guys some money. And they like, oh, why don't you host a fan vote at WWE/Ruffles.com or some nonsense. And I'm like, that's definitely a WWE idea. It's too stupid to be a Ruffles idea. You know, now Ruffles make some mistakes. All right, I've seen some of the flavors that they kind of go into, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not about to sit here and cape for jalapeno and ranch or jalapeno lime Ruffles. Nah, I'm good. Good. If you want to slander that stuff, go right ahead. But them plain joints, them cheddar and cheese joints, the sour cream and onion joints, okay, wait a minute. We gonna relax. We gonna throw Ruffles some bail. But it's a stupid idea. It's a really dumb idea. Okay? Fan voting. We're gonna fan vote. We're gonna let the people, you know, massive idiots, on Twitter no less, vote for who gets the team advantage at Survivor Series. Look, man, I'm not understanding this. I ain't understanding this at all. I'm lost. I'm lost in the sauce on this. Street Profits, Pretty Deadly, and Brawling Brutes. They wrestle for the number one contender for the tag team championships. It's won by the Street Profits. So the Street Profits, who are a heel team, are going to fight Judgment Day, who are a heel team next week for the tag team championship. Thank you very much, Triple H, for your inspired booking. B-Fab and Lashley were watching this. B-Fab was running that game on Lashley. It looked like he was falling for it. It looked like he might be falling for it, like a button or two became unbuttoned on that shirt. He might be falling for it. Also, during this thing, Butch ended up kicking Ridge Holland in the head. The Brawling Brutes ended up losing, and Ridge is kind of pissed. He's getting kind of mad. So I'm guessing they're teasing now that the Brawling Brutes are gonna break up. Jeez, they've teased the breakup of Lashley's team. They've teased the breakup of Imperium several times. They've teased the LWO breaking up forever. They've teased breaking up Judgment Day. They've teased breaking up, and they have broken up to a degree, the Bloodline. Now, they're going to break up the Brawling Brutes. I'm pretty sure this is exactly what Triple H wants, because he wants to get Butch by himself, and he's such a big fan of that diminutive pie-faced fuck. But it's good for Ridge, at least. Ridge the Fridge, he's a big guy. I have no faith that Ridge is going to end up getting a good run out of this, but I can't. They're gonna bury Ridge, aren't they? They're gonna have Butch beat him up and smack him around and kick him in the nuts, and next thing you know, he's gonna be in the Impact Zone. Oh man, that's so unfortunate. Oh man, that's so. I know I'm going too far with it, but geez, Pretty Deadly, very good. I don't like their theme song though. I thought it was gonna grow on me. It didn't. Also, the Street Profits theme song, Basura. It is guano. Not good. Just a whole lot of not good. Not good at all. All right, so Rey Mysterio is having knee surgery. This goes back to I had surgery 5 times in my left knee. Well, this is that was 15 years ago. How many more surgeries had he had since then? How many stem cell treatments? Poor Ray. The guy's 50. And now he has to have another knee surgery. I'm thinking this is it for old Raymond Mysterio. So, out of respect and love for Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee is going to have a match with Axiom. 2 masked luchadors. Yeah, they're counting Axiom as a luchador. Well, he does speak Spanish, but it's because he's from Spain. And technically, a luchador just means fighter, because lucha means fight. So, technically, you don't have to have a mask to be a luchador. So, but they're counting Axiom as a luchador. So this is a babyface versus babyface match for no reason. They went out there, did a bunch of moves, and Dragon Lee won. In honor of Rey Mysterio, of course. You just go out there and do a bunch of moves and get a win. It doesn't mean anything. And there was a bunch of Canadian destroyers in this match too. Triple H is watching way too much AEW. You know he's watching that product if he's put this match on. Now, apparently this is not a call-up for Axiom. This is a special showcase. They need to get that stupid mask off that guy. They did a vignette for him where he says he stays anonymous so that he could be a symbol of what anybody can be. Get that damn mask off that kid, man. Just take the mask off. Like, I know he was incredibly bland as a kid and he didn't have much going for him. But this Axiom thing is not working either. Now he's very generic but wearing a mask. At the very least, he was kind of a smooth fighter. This was a guy who went toe-to-toe with Gunther/Walter in NXT UK and was tremendous and believable, even at his size, which is substantially small, you know. So that mask just makes him look Bush League. Because it's so plain and uncool. Get that damn mask off that guy, man. Just take his mask off. I don't know what you do with him after that. Maybe face paint. Maybe some frills. I don't know. But that mask, superhero type of gimmick, that shit never going to work. Superheroes do not work in wrestling in the traditional sense. Alright? It ain't going to work. Santos Escobar, my favorite part of the show. Santos Escobar comes out there. He's got the Legado del Fantasma theme, which is excellent. I loved it. Yes. He's back in his suit. You know, he's back on his grind. He says that he learned to never meet his heroes. His family has a rich history. All of his family are considered heroes. But his hero was Rey Mysterio. And he wanted to see he wanted the new generation to see him the same way he saw Rey. And when they decided to bring back the LWO, Rey Mysterio was like a father figure to him. Made him feel at home. But over time, he realized that Dominic was right. That when he said that he wanted to be the United States champion. He wanted to bring back the LWO. And Rey Mysterio took both of those things away from him. Then Rey Mysterio started inviting outsiders like Carlito into the group. He started yelling in Spanish at Carlito. I'm pretty sure it was disrespect, whatever it was. Then he says that Rey took Carlito's side. So Rey betrayed him. Then he says he got frustrated and says that he hopes that Rey Mysterio's leg gets an infection and they have to amputate it. Which, I popped. Alright? Huge pop. For I hope they amputate your leg. Huge pop. Huge pop. Oh my goodness. Then he got more frustrated and started calling them all kinds of other things before calling them. He said, "You are just a doo-doo head, donkey face. You're trash, amigo." And I was like, "Yeah, you tell him. you tell him, Santos." He was very frustrated. So Zelina and company, that means the other two guys, they're backstage watching this, and Zelina she's being Meryl Streep. She's trying to be Sandra Bullock. All right. She's back there emoting. All right. She's back there weeping and whining, and she can't take no more. So she goes to the ring, and she's yelling at Santos, and Santos is saying, like, what are you talking about? Whose side are you on? You're supposed to be with me? And then she smacked him and said that she had no business ever trusting him. And he was pissy about that. And then as she was marching away, for starters, I got a huge pop. When she slapped him, huge pop. And then she was walking away. She walked into Joaquin and Cruz, and Santos Escobar looked at them and said, you guys are choosing Ray over me. You guys only exist because I allow you to. So then they come to the ring, and they get in his face. And Cruz del Toro apparently does not speak English because he was just nothing but Spanish. And Joaquin Wilde said, like, what you did to Zelina was unacceptable. That was unacceptable. You are undoubtedly a bad person. And Santos was like, you know what? You two out of here. Get out of my face. Get out of my sight. You get out of here. I'm through with the both of you. He called them dead weight. And then it was just kind of like, you. They turn around and he attacked both of them from behind, which was hilarious. He's about to put the finishing touches on old DJ Z when Carlito's music plays. And Carlito runs to the ring and chases Santos Escobar off. And this announced Santos Escobar versus Carlito at Survivor Series. Hey, we built a match for a pay-per-view here. Holy hell. We're not going to do it on TV. We're going to do it on pay-per-view. Excellent. Thank you very much. I love this. Every bit of this was great. From the cheesy acting from Zelina Vega and Joaquin Wilde, it was great. I love it. It was so over the top. It was fun. All right, it was a fun segment. Santos Escobar is a guy who thinks he, did the right thing. He didn't do anything wrong. He was perfect. He did all the right things. He said all the right things. He took the lumps and was happy for Ray, and he tried to accept the Carlito thing, but Ray just wouldn't leave it alone. He just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and then finally, when conflict emerged in the group, Ray chose against the family. I'm Michael now. Jordan, Jackson, and Corleone. You'll get it. You don't understand. But this match is I like it. It's fun. And for it to be put on pay-per-view, clearly it's going to be on pay-per-view because they need to build things in between these WarGames matches. So, Grayson Waller defeated Cameron Grimes, a match that happened literally just to give Grayson Waller a bounce back from his shit kicking that he got last week from Kevin Owens, who is going to be back next week. So that was some suspension. He was only suspended for a week, for Christ's sake. Now, I'll say this. Vince Russo went on a podcast and he talked about the booking of Grayson Waller. Because I think this is a good point being made. I'm not going to say it in the exaggerated Vince Russo voice. He says on Twitter, I don't think I've ever seen a heel get buried 3 different times within a 5-minute span. Grayson Waller gets nailed during a promo by LA Knight. Then he loses a match to LA Knight shortly thereafter, only to come back and get a stunner from Kevin Owens. Is that how you get heels heat in 2023 wrestling? That's great for a house show, not so much for a television show. And you know what? As much as I hate Vince Russo's writing style, I think that he doesn't know that much about it. This is pretty much shooting fish in a barrel. That's not how you would get a heel over if you actually cared about getting that heel over. The booking of heels in recent years has been absolutely atrocious. The amount of free shots baby faces get that don't have any type of, comeback to it. Guys get punched in the face, knocked over, and then the babyface just goes on about their day. They don't have to worry about nobody attacking them from behind or, getting hit with a pipe or anything like that. It's just a bunch of goof troop heels who get smacked around all the time, and that's pretty much it. And it's very unfortunate, but WWE has mastered this kind of heel. And it's basically The Miz, you know? Like, it's fine when it's just The Miz. But now when it's like 90% of the roster, when Jimmy Uso is getting smacked around and there's no comeback for it, really. You know, you got Grayson Waller getting beat up 100 times in an episode. Pretty deadly. It's like there's just so much of this stuff going on now that you do kill the credibility of the heels. They don't get any comeback. And he made a really good point. The comeback for Grayson Waller was this week when he beats Cameron Grimes, who's completely unrelated to LA Knight. And now he's going to do a segment with Kevin Owens next week, which is probably going to end up with Kevin Owens beating him up again. You don't got to be Nostradamus or Rasputin to see that into the future. You could see that coming because that's how WWE books it. And it was even under Vince too. It was a little too much of that. And I think part of it was during the Authority era, there was so much of the Stephanie dehumanizing and demoralizing and euthanizing the male, smacking them and pushing them, and there was nothing they could do about it. There's nothing they could say. So now they even do it in promos where guys just stand there and just get chopped up like it's a battle rap segment. Everybody saw like the John Cena Austin Theory segment where Austin Theory just had to stand there and let John Cena get his shit off. You know, it's like, you know, I'm not feeling it. You know, you're showing lack of intensity. You're showing lack of viciousness, lack of ruthlessness. You're not showing a spine, you know. Now, everybody can't be a chicken shit heel, you know. So I actually agree with Vince Russo again. I know it happens quite a bit on here for me to not like him, but he was right on that one. You know, Grayson Waller looked like shit last week and continues to do so because they don't make him or Austin Theory look like they have any type of legitimacy. I'll say, so the Bloodline, they're going to end the show here. Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, Paul Heyman's in the ring. Heyman cuts a really long promo, and it's actually okay to start, but then it kind of goes a little long. He starts with acknowledging Solo as the winner at Crown Jewel, saying that Cena would never be here again because he can't speak. Cena doesn't have the heart to say goodbye, so he'll do it for him. And if Cena does come back, he has to fight Solo. But he can't communicate, so he's not going to be able to get the crowd behind him. And that you will not see John Cena again. You will never see John Cena again. He just kept saying that. Which, of course, you know, John Cena will be back. So, just in case you were... how many times could he say John Cena's not going to be here? Now, I did see this. This was pretty funny before we move forward. He actually was looking to introduce John Cena. And so people started standing up looking. And one little boy, he was blurry in the back. But when Paul Heyman called out John Cena, he looked. And when Cena didn't come out, he was just shaking his head and put his head in his hands. And he was so disappointed. Because he actually got excited for a second. You know, like for about 3 or 4 seconds, he was legitimately excited that John Cena might come out there. That's how you know when you got him. And, you know, he's a kid, too. So LA Knight comes out there, cuts a promo, says the only reason Roman is the champion is because of the bloodline, which everybody knows. He says Roman knows it, everybody knows it, and this is a problem, and he's the problem solver. Then he says that he's going to make sure the bloodline doesn't exist because he's going to take them out one at a time, beginning with Jimmy. We call him Jimbo. Then he spit some kind of rhyme that didn't make any sense and then got in the ring, and then the two of them had their match in which LA Knight beat Jimmy Uso because, heavens to Betsy, Jimmy Uso cannot have any credibility whatsoever. It doesn't matter. After the match, Solo Sikoa jumped LA Knight, gave him the Samoan spike. So I'm guessing that's where we're going with this in terms of... Oh, yeah. It wasn't over, of course. I'm just saying. I'm guessing we're going to go with LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa at Survivor Series. I would imagine so. Anyway, Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso was about to put LA Knight through the table when Cody ran to the ring. What was Cody even doing there? Who knows? But Cody was there. Huge pop for Cody. Cody saves LA Knight. And that's it. Now I'm guessing they're going to do some kind of talent trade where the Cody's team needs another person and SmackDown needed another person. And so LA Knight for Becky Lynch is going to end up being the trade, probably for that night. That's what I would imagine. It would be the only way to explain how Nick Aldis went from, I don't want anybody from Raw on SmackDown, to Raw people all over SmackDown, NXT fucks from SmackDown. You know? Looking like the Survivor Series card, still kind of weak. I'm not in love with what they're doing with the Bloodline, but it's okay. It's not great though. It seemed like we're leading towards LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa, but we just had that match. It was like 3 weeks ago, and LA Knight won that match. So I don't know where we're going with this. And then if you do that, who wins? Does Solo win and then kill LA Knight's momentum, or does LA Knight win and you can Solo Sikoa's momentum? I don't know. I know LA Knight just took a big loss to Roman, and they're probably not thrilled about making him take another one. But it's an interesting conversation to have. The LWO stuff was really good. I had fun with that. The damage control stuff, the matches, not really feeling them. No real storyline involvement with those. So all the storyline involvement was pretty much into the promo segments, which were good. So thumbs in the middle SmackDown. What say you? Let me know. Comment section below. And I'll talk to you guys later.
Tell me what's worse than learning all that you led to believe was all horse crap.